Tensions in the Middle East reach the foothills of Alps. World Economic Forum withdraws invitation to Iran's foreign minister ahead of this year's Davos summit in Switzerland. In a post on X, the WEF confirmed that Abbas Araghchi will not attend the 5-day gathering, citing the ongoing loss of civilian lives in Iran. The organization said that while Araghchi was invited last fall, recent events made it inappropriate for the Iranian government to be represented at Davos this year. The decision follows pressure from the advocacy group United Against Nuclear Iran, which urged WEF leadership to bar Iranian regime officials amid a violent crackdown on nationwide protests. UANI CEO Ambassador Mark Wallace welcomed the move, saying Iranian officials should not be given international platforms while committing crimes against their own people and supporting terrorism. Iran has been gripped by widespread anti-government protests, now stretching into their 22nd day, as security forces respond with force. According to the US-based human rights activists news agency, at least 624 protests have been recorded across the country. The group reports more than 24,000 arrests and nearly 4,000 confirmed deaths. HRANA says the majority of those killed were protesters, including at least 25 children, with thousands more deaths still under investigation. Meanwhile, the White House says the Trump administration is closely monitoring the situation, as President Donald Trump weighs possible U.S. military action.
The source of tension is America, not Iran. Provoking conflict has, unfortunately, become ingrained in American policy. Iran has not deployed military forces to America's borders in the Gulf of Mexico, nor does it interfere in American affairs. In contrast, the United States persistently intervenes in Iran's domestic matters and regional politics under various pretexts. Even when it speaks of diplomacy, its approach is, unfortunately, one of dictating terms and seeking unilateral advantage.
Iran's government is now openly accusing the United States of fueling unrest inside the country as protests continue to spread across major cities. In a sharply worded statement, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Bakai said Washington is the real source of rising tensions, accusing the U.S. of long-standing interference in Iran's domestic and regional affairs. Bakai rejected claims circulating in Western media, calling reports of mass executions and military escalation completely false and deliberately fabricated. He said Iran has not threatened the United States or deployed forces near American borders, contrasting that with what he described as constant U.S. intervention in Iranian affairs.
Both our people and the world should know that the party that seeks to perpetuate tension and inflame the situation in our region, especially in relation to the Islamic Republic of Iran, is the United States, not Iran. What we must do to dissuade any aggressor from contemplating an attack on Iran's security is to demonstrate such power and resolve that we will hear the snapping of the fingers of any aggressor and will not allow the slightest transgression against our Iran to occur. The source of tension is America, not Iran. Provoking conflict has, unfortunately, become ingrained in American policy. Iran has not deployed military forces to America's borders in the Gulf of Mexico, nor does it interfere in American affairs. In contrast, the United States persistently intervenes in Iran's domestic matters and regional politics under various pretexts. Even when it speaks of diplomacy, its approach is, unfortunately, one of dictating terms and seeking unilateral advantage. It is common for other countries, both within the region and beyond, to attempt to act as intermediaries between Iran and the United States. Naturally, during periods of heightened tension, like the one we have experienced in recent weeks, these nations will reach out to their neighbors and try to facilitate the exchange of messages between the two sides. That established channel, known as the Araghchi, remains active and will be utilized whenever necessary. Heightened tensions have naturally led to some security concerns. In response, a number of foreign diplomatic missions have temporarily reduced their staff in Iran as a precaution. However, reports about the scale of these withdrawals are greatly exaggerated. I can state with confidence that no embassy has shut down. All embassies in Tehran remain open and continue their core operations. Of course, when an embassy temporarily operates with reduced staff, some delays or limitations in its regular services are to be expected. This is a standard, temporary adjustment, not a cessation of activities.